I'll call the meeting of the Arlington EDA to order at 5:36, Monday, May 10th. Now will you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have a few members that will not be here tonight. Tim Kleckel on the emergency call. Howie Brinkman will not be here, and Craig Buss reported that he, 5-10 minutes late, so. Amy, do you have any changes or deletions to the agenda?
I have one addition to the agenda, which will go under new business, so this will be 6A. It is the application and resolution in front of everyone. It's an application by Jacob Benke to do some remodeling. He's asking for the facade improvement grant to do some remodeling to the front of the building that houses Who's on First and Sheer Designs. I did not make a copy of the building for everyone, but he wants to do Tony Huff calling.
Oh.
He wants to do the shutters and the siding and do some work on the facade. He's also going to do the roof, which he did not include in the numbers in the application. So he will definitely match our $2,500. He's asking for $2,500.
Okay.
And he's saying he's going to put in $7,600 without including the roof.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda with that addition?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Motion by Dean, second by Larry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Now we'll go down to the approval of the minutes. The minutes are in front of you. I just saw like one typo, Amy. Under 10, where it says EDA Director. Update on businesses and housing. Newsom gave an update instead of and. Should be AN instead of AND. Not a big deal. Anybody else see anything?
No, I missed that.
I think I
One of
was
those
working
things
at a
where your eyes
newspaper
read
and
right over it.
copy reading all the time.
Craig's here.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Craig.
Newspaper experience.
Yeah.
All this stuff. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion by Matt, second by Dean to approve the minutes from April 12th, 2021. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next, approval of financial reports, April 2021. Amy, you have anything to?
I have nothing to point out regarding everyone's paying their EDA loans as expected. Just a quick update. Napa, who is under our revolving loan fund, I believe they'll be paying off their loan soon in full.
That's correct.
Okay, well, good.
So, by the next
Unfortunately,
meeting.
they're paying off
Unfortunately.
Arlington Industries too.
Yeah, so we won't be getting that interest any longer, but
That's the way it goes.
that's the way it goes.
Well,
We'll try
that's
to
the
loan
way
it
it's
out to.
supposed to go, isn't it?
We'll
Exactly.
loan it out to someone else then.
Hey, interest rates are low, so you can expect this to happen.
It is what it is.
So, I would move for approval of financials.
Okay, is there
Second.
motion by Larry, second by Matt to approve the financial reports, April 2021. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. New business. We have a resolution for facade improvement. Amy, you want to explain it?
I kind of went over it already, but
I think
it is.
Craig came in a minute late, so
Oh,
maybe he
you didn't
didn't.
hear me go over this.
I was hearing part of it when I was walking.
Oh, okay.
You heard me down the hall. The resolution, the applications for the sod improvement program came in this morning. I talked to Jacob Benke. He called called me on Friday asking about it, and I encouraged him, I said, if you can get it to me, I can type up the resolution and we'll get it on Monday's agenda already.
Okay.
And so, he's putting $7,600 worth of work into this building. So he is asking for $2,500 of our forgivable loan. He wants to do the shutters, the fascia, the siding. He's also gonna do the roof, which he didn't include in this, so he will put in well over our match.
Okay.
Can you do something with the building to the west of him?
Should we give him an extra incentive?
I think it's great anytime we get somebody to renovate a building anywhere, especially on Main Street.
You bet.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay, any other questions for Amy? Any discussion?
You need a roll call vote for this?
Yeah, when we're ready, we'll have to do the roll call.
I'll make a motion to approve the revolving loan, or the, not the revolving loan, but the facade loan.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by Matt, second by Dean. A motion for resolution approving a facade improvement loan to Jacob Benke for his building located at 407 West Main Street. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a roll call vote. Larry
Yes.
and Dean
Yes.
and Craig,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
myself, yes. Passes 5-0. Okay, next we'll move down to old business, Tony Huff project. Amy?
I just wanted to give you a quick up-to-date. We had our planning and zoning meeting, a public hearing for rezoning that property last Thursday. I think the public hearing went well. There were some people that voiced their concerns about the project, but I think there was a lot of gossip out there about what was actually happening. Kurt
I
was
thought
at
it
the
went
meeting
pretty
too.
well.
I think that after discussing the project, and Tony was here willing to answer questions, the couple that were in the audience questioning it, I think it went better, including the one that Craig and I both spoke with. He, after having his questions answered, he seemed satisfied with the answers he received. We are working on a new survey for the property. We approved it at the council level. That piece of property had been split up a couple times. Part of the land had gone to the fairgrounds, part of the land had gone to housing, and the city had never done another survey. So it needed a new survey and a new legal, which Bolton and Menkel will do for us. They're already our engineers. Jason has been working with the project. And Tony's actually gonna hire Bolton and Mink to be his engineer for the project as well. They'll be putting together a site plan. Tony has decided against applying for the BDPI grant. He'd just rather do the work himself.
So actually, that's a lot less work for the city then, without that grant then.
So if he's willing to
And save
put the
money,
sewer
too.
and water in without that grant application.
Okay, any other questions for Amy or discussion? Okay. We'll move one down, Cywick Villas.
Those are still moving forward this year. They've applied for their 8 building permits for the rental homes. They are struggling applying for an MPCA permit that is required because they're shifting more than 1 acre of land out there. So they need an MPCA permit. Tony and I actually talked about it today. Tony will be doing some work for Cywick. And Tony said, well, I'm familiar with those permits. I said, well, someone please help them. I talked to Dave Cywick's daughter last Thursday or Friday. And I talked to Jason Femright about this MPCA permit that they seem to be hung up on. And Jason said it's a simple permit. He said it shouldn't take that long to fill out. Bolton and Mink would do it for $300 or $400. They'll do the permits for them. And he said the turnaround time is usually a day or 2. And Tony Huff said, oh yeah, I have to do those too when I do Pheasants Forever projects and stuff. So he's like, if I can figure it out, they can figure it out. So I think it will happen, they just need to get their MPCA permits in. And then, like I said, we're sitting on the building permits, just waiting for that approval. So, they do not need to replat that. After a lengthy discussion with Attorney Arneson and back and forth, we've decided it does not need to be replatted because sewer and water infrastructure is already in. They're just closing off some of the hookups.
Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay, we'll slide down to the dog park. Amy, you wanna give a,
There's a copy of the plans for the dog park. Tim Hagemiller put this together for me. I'm still waiting to get the numbers on what this fencing will cost. This is about 10,000 square feet next to the wastewater treatment plant. Right at the entrance, right off of the trail, kind of. Kurt and I have been out there and looked at it. But there's gonna be a spot for big dogs and for little dogs. There's a water fountain on the side closest to the wastewater, or there's water on the side closest to the wastewater treatment plant that we can just look into. So there's no running water that we have to run new water lines out there. And we've received $3,300 in donations. I'm kind of losing track.
I thought 2,300. Unless we got another 1,000 from the Arlington House, 1,000 from the vet clinic. And then we got
200 from Valencia Estates, 100 from Terry Claygus.
yeah, that'd be 2,300.
All right, then we only have $2,300 in
Okay.
donations.
I will give just a brief update on that fundraising. I did go to a Knights of Columbus meeting because I'm a member of the Knights, and they give out, money for community projects, so I didn't think the EDA would mind, so I gave my little spiel, and now next Tuesday, I'll go back. They want a little time to think about it. One nice thing is Tim is on big into the Knights of Columbus too, so that might help. So we might get a little money there. Well, then while I was there, Gene Schultz said, he asked me to come to the VFW meeting because they have pull tabs. So he asked me, and I said, yeah, and that's Monday at 7 o'clock, when I should be here covering the council meeting, but we're gonna try to finagle it, so maybe I can leave during a real boring part and then go out there quick. Well, there's a few reports, I wouldn't mind missing, but anyway.
We'll schedule them.
I thought it sounded pretty promising when somebody asked me to come to their meeting.
Yeah.
And so whatever we get, again, I'm not trying to go over the EDA's head,
I
but
don't know if you're willing to go.
I wanna
That's
try
what I'm
to,
Then we don't have to.
saying. If anyone's willing to go, ask or to present at
I just think the more donations come in, it might get,
I
and we're
know.
kinda stuck now, so
Well, I
maybe
think-
that will,
I think it'll help to know how much it's gonna cost, cause I know a lot of committees will be like, okay, how much is it gonna cost, how much do you need to
Mhm.
raise,
One thought I know after, on the cemetery committee, what we might for funding for this thing in the future is not like a cemetery association, but something that's responsible for the funding for it, so that,
instead of the city.
20 years down the road now, when it costs 20 grand to operate whatever it is for dogs,
20 grand for that park,
You
that'd be a
would
lot
be
of money.
you'd be surprised.
I most likely will, just. then,
Okay. Any other questions on the dog park?
Well, just
Dean?
looking at this, is this the driveway going into the,
Wastewater treatment.
so then, Henderson Road would be right here?
No, you're at the water treatment plant, the wastewater is.
You'd be heading out to
Freedom.
the Sportsman's
Yeah.
Park.
This is the road heading out to Sportsman's Park?
Yeah, what is that road called?
Freedom Drive, yeah.
Freedom,
Freedom Drive, and then,
that's what I said at first, but I wasn't sure. Just like,
I wasn't sure either, but it was the only thing I
Doubting
could work out.
myself, that's what I said too, and I'm like, is that right?
so you have a question, Dean, then on that,
Yeah, I
or?
don't know exactly where out there by the,
Oh,
this is
Any
where we
chance
were.
you could point to the
Yeah.
area up there?
it's
for
just
him?
to the
Right.
west, you'll have a fence that, a common fence with the compost site just to
Okay,
the
but,
west.
yeah, I'm trying to, it says existing concrete driveway.
So you'll go south, that's the driveway to go into the treatment plant.
We used to
All
have a
right.
treatment
Yeah.
plant.
So then the highway out to the Sportsman's Park is
Up
across
there.
the top of it.
Yeah,
Yep,
All right, so now I've
Okay.
got my bearings.
okay.
And I assume, just to chime in real quick, I assume the fence is gonna follow code, it's gonna be no more than 6 foot.
Mm.
And my only question though is, do you guys want it to be, cause based on the code, it has to be 2 foot from the property lines, do you want to follow that, or you want it to be closer? We
It's
might be,
not gonna be,
Yeah.
we own all that property out there,
Cause
so
I think
it's,
there's a driveway that separates through.
yeah, that's why I bring that up, is
Mhm.
because, I mean, it might be possible to finagle it to accommodate if we could go, but, I mean, it would just be easier if we could just follow the 2 foot, so I
no,
could just
actually, we're
approve.
setting it back like 6 feet from the driveway even.
Yeah.
Perfect,
And
'cause-
the next question I have is this encroach on the,
Compost pile?
compost
No.
pile?
Nope.
So it's between the compost piles and the driveway?
There's a fence up there already,
Where the grass is.
yeah, it's just gonna be on the grassy area.
with a couple trees, so. It would be nice, before I go to those 2 meetings next week, if we can get a approximate,
I will,
if we can, cause I know that's gonna be one of the first questions
well,
they're
that would
gonna
be my
ask.
question, if you were asking me for money.
I
I'd say,
kinda
how much
told
do
them
you need?
between 5 and 10, but I said so.
I'll follow up with Tim and ask if he has a number for us
Okay.
yet. I'll
Any,
CC you too, because you
Yeah.
and I met him out there. so.
Yep. Any other questions, discussion on the dog park? Okay, we'll move down to hemp heaven, Amy.
Still haven't heard anything from Derek Bushman, I've called him multiple times.
Well, that doesn't sound promising.
That does not sound promising,
It
every time.
hasn't for a year, has it?
Mhm.
It hasn't sounded promising for a full year.
It's been, well, since you and I met with him, that's the last time I've heard from him, and that was, when did we meet with him?
That'd be a year.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Dean and I, it was last year, you're right, sometime.
Well, my goal with that is to kind of try to light a fire under him and things like that on a planning level, because I feel it would be good to have, particularly, it would promote positive impact, economic impact on the town. However, I'm slightly hesitant because from what I understand of it, he just wants to do, I'm not kind of clear on what his whole objective is, and I kind of want to talk to him to figure out what his, like if he's just doing CBD and industrial hemp, or does he plan on doing other things given the way the market is going so far with that product. So
He never gave us any definite indication either.
that's what I got.
No.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. So what
Well,
I
he needs his site plan for starters,
right.
to get
I
going.
think he just needs to respond to you,
That would help if
number
he,
one,
if he got back to
there's
me.
nothing really we can do, can we, until he responds to you?
Well, I can-
And until the deadline passes, then we'll
Yeah.
have Ross get the land back to us. I've been approached by, others who have land adjacent to that piece of property to take it over, but then speaking with Attorney Arneson, it's best if we just get that land back and we'll have to figure something else out.
When is the deadline?
October, I don't remember
October.
which date in October, but it's October.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do something about the weeds that they got out there.
I did receive a call actually about that, about the weeds out there, and it was a farmer who actually wanted to cut that.
Yep.
And I said, go for it. I gave him Derek Bushman's phone number and I said, call him and see if he'll let you in there.
Well,
Cause we don't own the property anymore.
how just to get just on a planning level, do you all still, if it's possible, do you still want this to go through? If I could push him to get me a site plan and then get a concrete idea of what he wants to do, you guys still 100% for this, or do you just more indifferent now?
What was,
Well, we have an agreement.
yeah,
Okay, no, I know, but it,
Contractual agreement, so.
right, but still, opinions do change. I just wanted to hear it from you all before even so you guys still want to do the agreement, you still want to go through it if possible and everything.
cause he had indicated to me here about whatever it was, that they were gonna build greenhouses out there for medical and recreational weed.
Yeah, that's gonna be an issue, because
So,
I was afraid of that, cause there could be some overlining issues with that. However, at the same time, it may not, because with that, if he does wanna do medical and recreational, I don't know, based on the way federal laws and laws stand, how we could get a tax, how that could benefit us for taxes and money. So I have to, I mean, I'm not, like, this is the thing, I'm not against it, it's just, given the way the federal government is with this stuff and my experience dealing with it in the city of Pittsburgh on a medical side, there are complications with it, and I don't know how much tax revenue we could rake in from it, given just the complexities of it, given the federal government doesn't recognize it being legal, only states do. So I don't think there's going to be an issue, but I'm just hesitant given just my
Well, I
experience.
think we just need my opinion is just to sit back and hope he calls.
Yeah.
'Cause we can talk about this for 10 hours, but
Right.
if he never calls, so,
Yeah, which
It's just back with us and we figure out what to do with that.
Limbo until he decides to do something.
To
Yeah.
call me.
right. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna reach out to him to figure out what's he's going on. I want to meet with him too, to see just how things are right now. If he might be gung ho with it, or who knows. So I could present something next EDA meeting if hopefully by then, if I talk to him
okay,
to get an idea. But I can't make promises on that.
okay. Amy's update on businesses and housing.
I have received a couple inquiries about the Swenson property, which is good news.
What property?
Wow.
The Swenson property, it was where Ninkasi Hops was supposed to go.
Next
The
one.
purple,
Wow.
on the edge of town.
Yeah.
I received a lot of inquiries about land and housing opportunities in town the past couple months, which is good. That's a good sign.
This is
Last
kind of the
year-
time of the year when that gets really
Yeah.
level.
Last year, it was pretty quiet. Economic development wise, it was pretty quiet. I didn't,
Quiet for everything.
yeah, I didn't receive any inquiries into our land. And this year, it's been pretty busy. Nobody's ready to come forward yet, and it's not public until they are ready to
Yeah.
come to an EDA meeting. But it's good news.
These people are talking.
At least people are, yeah, asking about us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
How about housing? Are there any more? I thought there was one more going up in that Sepker addition, or haven't driven around much, but,
We haven't received any new building
Oh,
permits
okay.
lately for new home construction.
Hmm.
They are marketing, do you remember the Tim Kuckel and you and I and,
oh, when we went to,
went to look at those Chris Witt
yeah,
townhomes? Those lots are now being marketed by, some of the lots he owned are now being marketed by a realtor. So I'm hoping someone buys those and actually builds something on them.
okay.
'Cause
Those
he
are on the
apparently-
south side of the street, right?
Mhm. So I'm hoping they get built on now.
Okay, any other questions for Amy? Okay, we'll slide down, planning and zoning update, Phil Mangus. The new planning and zoning administrator.
Yes.
Not sure if you read the article I had in the paper about him and his picture, so if you wanna, Phil, you wanna introduce yourself quick and give a real brief
Yeah, very brief.
update, cause I have a baseball game and Dean can
Yeah,
sit
there-
only so long.
Yeah, there's not much to say, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm Phil Mangus. I'm the new zoning administrator, as you don't already know. I come from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so back east. Worked for the city of Pittsburgh for about 2.5 years before I came out here. Grew up in the landlord class there, construction, pretty much all that good stuff. I come from a blue collar family, first white collar person in my family, to be honest. Other than that, really not much more to say. Have a lot of knowledge in planning and experience, dealt with a lot of council people and their staff, magistrates, all that good stuff. So that's pretty much that summed up. I mean, I could go in further, but I don't want to bore you with my credentials. So going to the zoning and planning updates, don't really have much, minus the Hoff thing is going well. I'm just waiting on the site plan. Once I get the site plan, everything gets rezoned. I'm gonna sit down with Tony to figure out, because based on the meeting last Thursday, one emphasis, particularly that one gentleman who is an interesting man, Mike, I believe his name was, is concerned about screening and safety and things like that. That is one of my biggest concerns. I plan on addressing that using certain trees, foliage, and things like that. Like I said, I can't say anything concrete until once everything is finalized and I sit down with him, and then we can go through the code to make sure that this works well. But other than that, the one major thing I want to bring up today, as you can see in the packet, this is involving the Fill Me Up, the gas station / liquor store. I'm not against this project, but I'm slightly hesitant given my experience, because as what they've presented right now, it does not give me a lot of confidence that these guys really know 100% what they're doing. And given the legality of the way things are going and the sensitivity of it, I need to sit down with them and we need to flesh out better, clearer plans, just for liability reasons, because I do not want this to fall back on the city and then on me, because if they end up, because even through the conversations we've had, it does not seem that the president and the other person I talked to are really on the same page. I've been told different things, so I need clarification on exactly what they want to do and how they want to do it. And I need, to be honest with you, I need better layouts, because this is, to me, this is a good start, but I need clearer drawings. I need actual building drawings and things like that. And I would feel more comfortable having a stamped site plan from an actual architect or engineer to show what they're doing, because that protects us from any issues that may come down the line if they don't follow it or anything like that. So if they don't, let's say they end up, this is just speculating, like let's say they just don't end up following what the state requires of them, and if they try to come at us, we could tell them, well, based on the plans and everything that we reviewed, it did seem what they presented that they were going to follow their requests and everything. So we just need to cover our butts with that, and based on what they've presented, I'm not comfortable approving this until I get something more concrete. Like I said, I'm all for it. I'm not trying to say they can't build this or anything like that. I'm not against that. I'm not against any development anyone wants to do. I just want a more clear-cut thing for us so we know exactly what they're doing, because through my experience, stuff like this, they say one thing, and then as time goes on, they might change it like halfway through while they're building, and then that could cause more problems and end up costing us money in the long run. So
Okay.
until I sit down, talk with them, get clear plans, I'm kind of hesitant to push for this right now. So this
Now-
is something that by next time I should have a better, more clear thing to
Okay.
address for it.
Now, the EDA will just receive updates. We have no other involvement in this, no vote or anything.
Now, the next thing, it will go to city council to decide if city council will issue that liquor license. They need an off-sale liquor license.
And then
So
it will go to
city could-
planning and zoning.
Well, then it's back to his site plan for the building.
Oh,
But city
okay.
council needs to decide if they'll issue them a liquor license. The city can have as many off-sale liquor licenses as they wish. We're communicating with someone from the state, and if the state says everything is acceptable, the big deal is separating that paying for gas and paying for the liquor. Because you can't have access, you can't have people going running into the liquor store to pay for their gas. It's gotta be separate. So we'll follow up with the state and see what they have to say, bring it back to council
And
to make a decision.
And that's one thing I want them to stress on the site plan, to make that clear cut. That's one thing why I'm kind of nervous about this, is because it doesn't look like on the plans that, because as you see on the first page, it has a walk-up. It just says walk-up. Well, what does that mean? That means, are they walking up to pay for gas or paying for liquor? You know, I need a clear representation on how they're going to separate both if the state approves it. However, the first step is for city council to approve that licensing. If the city council doesn't approve that licensing, then it's pretty much, I'm not sure where we would go
Well,
from
then
there.
it's done.
Yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't be too worried about your part of it. It's gotta get through
It's
city
gotta get
council
through city
first.
council first.
And I got a pretty good anticipation there's gonna be at least one no vote, just not based principle.
Well, yeah, that's,
Is there's, what are the rules regarding the distance from a school?
Well, I'm not so much worried about the rules. It's
Well,
We already-
there
we
must be a
already-
rule though,
Yeah,
there.
we already have one in town, Larry,
Yeah,
and she's a proprietor, you know.
We have 2 in town right
Okay,
now.
so there we go.
yeah.
Well, the city actually used to have 3 off sales, now we have 2.
Which is it dugout and
Right now, it's the dugout and
A liquor
Arlington
store,
Liquors.
But,
And
but hers is for sale too, right?
ours is for sale.
Right, but
Yeah,
that,
but
that,
anybody
if
can
we,
try
if
to
we,
sell it.
the way I look at it, if we go ahead and approve this thing and it goes through, that pretty much, she might as well
It
just close
probably
up.
kills her sale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kill
shut
any
her down.
chance of her selling it even harder than what it already is. But, I'm not, like I said, my opinion of this whole thing is, like I said, I'd rather not, given the experience with this group and how they've run the other stuff we
Yeah.
bought,
That's a good point.
you know. Their best bet is maybe try to sell this store to somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Any other questions, discussion on that?
I thought your article in the paper explained a lot.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
I know that email from Ross really helped, kinda, that really helped.
I got the impression there had to be two clerks, one selling liquor and one selling, gas.
Yep,
And there has to be
And they
a
had to
wall
be in separate,
separating.
separate rooms.
Yeah.
Well, they can't keep this place open at 6 o'clock at night. I mean, and you go into the other one after 6 o'clock at night, and it's a morgue.
Yeah.
The other day I went in there and it smells like dog feces, so that
Oh.
was the last time I'm going in there.
Oh,
It's something I need
Plus,
to look
you know,
into.
You know, yeah, sometimes they're out of stuff and they don't,
Yeah,
it's just not.
The serviceability of it.
dog feces.
Oh, you walk in and
Got me.
it's like, what is that smell?
I think
You know,
their
it's not
biggest,
cows and it's not hogs and it's not chickens.
I think their biggest problem is getting employees.
Yeah, I've heard
And you
that.
could see, cause both sites have all those signs up now hiring
Not
and,
just getting, but keeping.
yeah.
Well, also it's located near the hotel, and from what I understand about the hotel, it's not necessarily the greatest spot, so, which is a whole nother issue that I have to approach, but that's neither here nor there.
Pick that up real quick.
You're pretty fast.
Hey, you all hired me to be the, hey, you guys hired me to be the planner, so I gotta pick up on this stuff quick, so.
Okay, any other questions, discussion?
From what I'm hearing though, I don't think I'd put any more work into
No,
that
no,
liquor.
we're
Don't
gonna
put
put a
any
lot
more
more.
time into that.
No, this is as far as I'm going until
Yeah.
I hear otherwise, so,
I would just put this away.
yeah.
Hey,
I'm just bringing it to EDA's attention to show this is pretty much what I have done my first week, this and the HOP project were my 2 focuses.
okay. Okay, thanks Phil for that update. Director and board comments, anybody?
I just wanted to say thank you to the Arlington Enterprise and for Kurt for putting in all the ads about our different programs to the EDA. I think we had the one about the
No
Childcare.
stories.
childcare stuff last
Oh.
time.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. When I have a little empty space, I can kinda pick and choose what I wanna put in, so then I try to do different EDA programs, but it's all free. All the stuff I'm putting in now is all free, so, hopefully it helps. Somebody reads it and even if,
Maybe that's how we got the facade. Because he called me and said, hey, this is what I'm doing.
huh,
Do you have
okay.
any programs available? And I said,
Ah.
yes, we do.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Just curious though, you know, you put that article in the paper about them wanting to do the liquor store, did you get any follow-up from that or any kind of response from the community?
Not really. We do drop off papers at the liquor store, so right away, Renee asked a few questions and, but I always figure it's best not to hide stuff. It's like, just put it out there. It was talked about at the last council meeting and,
She is asked to be put on the next council agenda. So,
I'm assuming you did.
Rightfully so.
and that's when I'm hoping I'm here and not at the VFW meeting, so. So I don't miss the excitement, so. Any other comments?
So remember that
Uh,
as you're going through the meeting. Try to time it so that
Yeah.
Kurt is back.
Slowly bring it up?
Yeah,
Can you repeat that?
Go through the people's service report or something.
Lots of questions.
hopefully we'll have some donations for the dog park I can report on by the next meeting, so. Okay, anything else?
Anybody come forward with wanting to be in charge of this dog park thing besides?
No,
No.
it's a quick answer for you.
You know, my opinion, there's a couple people in town against this, who are pretty much against motherhood most of the time. And I just,
Yeah, but you can't call it mother anymore.
yeah, I guess, whatever. Yeah,
Birthing
Birthing
person,
person.
oh, okay, yeah.
A what?
birthing person.
How does your generation find this stuff out before mine?
I read that in the paper,
Hmm.
It's a paper.
In a paper?
Minneapolis paper.
Oh.
Ah,
I was like, Kurt, what are you talking about?
it wasn't in our paper,
Aren't you part of the woke generation?
Well, we probably are, but I'm not one of them.
That's my generation, I don't even know that word.
That's pretty fancy.
But it does upset me, I mean, a couple people, and we had the public hearing,
Yep.
nobody came to it, that was against it, we've had council meetings, nobody's come to it. But if that's the biggest problem in Arlington, some people might not pick up after their dog. I mean, after the,
We already have that problem.
yeah, it's all over. When I go to track meets and everything, and to me, that's just, and plus, the two biggest complainers don't even have a dog, so I don't know why they're so worried.
Cause they have to pick up dog poop.
Yeah.
Those people that don't.
No, but they'll never be out at the dog park.
Right.
They don't have a dog, they're never gonna be out there,
Oh,
so
I
I-
hear what you're saying.
so I don't know why they're so worried about it, other than they're just anti-everything, and, but they had their chance. They've had many and they,
And actually, I was surprised we didn't have anything negative at that public
no,
hearing,
it was all positive,
They didn't wanna spend 50,000 on a
Yeah.
Taj Mahal dog
Taj
park, but they
Mahal,
wanted one.
They wanted one. So.
And that, yeah,
and
that's
this is
the,
something,
that's the message they got across to us. They wanted one.
and, so. Okay, anything else? Somebody wanna make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by Craig, second by Larry to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?